Alright, guys, today we're gonna be reacting to German versus Austrian. German speaking countries, I guess. Let's see what's going on here. Let's jump in. Ooh.
Hey rabbits, it's Trixie and today I want to compare German to Austrian. Even though there are some slang words or dialects in both German and Austrian, Germans and Austrians can normally understand each other without many problems. However, there are some slight differences in the pronunciation that I wanted to investigate on. Many of you have already asked me to do a comparison between German, Austrian and Swiss, but because there are so many things to be mentioned and it took me a long time to research, and because I don't want to confuse you or me, I decided to make two videos out of that. So a video about German versus Swiss will come another day and I will put the link to the video right here if and as soon as I uploaded the video. Comparing German to Austrian, there are some major differences and some minor differences to be found. Also be aware that there are many dialects and depending on where you go, the points that I raise may apply or may not apply. So not everything I mention in this video applies generally. Maybe I also make mistakes because I'm not an Austrian. I can just try my best. Additionally, I decided to not focus my video on the very traditional Austrian.
I went to her channel. Is she still uploading videos? She had a great opportunity to be successful in German. Not in German, YouTube. I'm wondering why she stopped. She have a great audience.
On the modern Austrian that you can encounter in the social media nowadays. I basically just watched a couple of Austrian YouTubers trying to spot differences in how they pronounced words, trying to copy what they said.
Oh, Michael, du darfst dir nichts denken bei Tamara. Sie ist einfach schüchtern. Oh, la-di-da.
Baba, man,
What?
Fick dich, Tamara. I must have looked really weird doing that. At the same time, Eric was working on the computer right next to me and at some point he just turned around asking, "What the heck are you doing? Are you making animal noises?" For that reason, my special thanks goes to Michael Buchinger, Jana Klein, Kleine Bahana, who unknowingly served as my Austrian teachers. So if my Austrian is not perfect, blame them and not me. No, seriously, check them out.
Let's hear your Austrian. Well, what's up with that?
Channels in the description. But let's finally start with the differences, shall we? Something that you may notice, especially if you watched this video where I'm speaking in 12 different German dialects, is that Austrian seems a bit familiar when you know the Bavarian accent. It's not the same though. I bet some people already said like this in front of the computer. But calm down, okay? And yeah, that may be because Bavaria and Austria share a border. They're right next to each other and
So probably, I was gonna say,
by each other.
probably they understand if a Bavarian speak with the Austrians closer, right, than a Northern Hamburg guy, speak with the Austrian guy. Probably they would not understand each other that well.
The first major thing that I noticed was the different pronunciation of the letter combination I. Germans pronounce that I. Austrians say something between A and A. Here are some examples. Klein, mein, Zeit, Also the length
So
of
it's
the vowels.
more straightforward. That's what it is, more straightforward. They really pronounce the E as a. Like eh.
Varies noticeably. The German rules on when to use short or long vowels don't seem to apply too much to Austrians. And even if they, for example, both use a long vowel, the Austrian one still appears to be slightly longer, especially if there's one in the end of a word. Wissen, Minuten, Witz, Witz, Mutter, Geschichte,
So they
Generally, I would say
they take a little bit of that pause. Okay.
that Austrians open their mouth a little bit more when it comes to A, E and E sounds. Fahrt, nicht, and they protrude the lower jaw when it comes to O and U. Ungewohnt. And whenever there's an edgy consonant following a vowel, it's like they're hitting the brake before they pronounce it. While Germans are like, consonant, in your face. Hatte, It's
like a
Konsonant.
hatte.
Gefällt's mir nicht. Ich werde noch ein bisschen bleiben. Another thing that concerns the vowels in Austrian is that A is often pronounced as O or AL pronounced as Oi. Einfach. Die ganze Zeit. Schon halb vier. What next? For example, the fact that some...
I don't know about you guys, but she sounds like she's making a difference here. Let me know in the comment section below if she's right on point or otherwise. If she's full of it, let me know as well.
Sounds become sounds. Not all of them, not even most of them, but a few. It also depends on the region or how strong the accent is, because some of the Austrians I listened to never did that. Durch, Also, something pretty funny, I think, is that there's sometimes a random S sneaking into a sentence without any grammatical reason. Ihr seid mir Schlawiner. Seid's. Germans tend to pronounce ich in the end of a word as ich, while mostly Austrians don't. They say ich, lustig, lustig. Furthermore, where Germans use a soft S in the beginning of a word, people from Austria may use a sharp one. Sind, sehr, sehr. Another difference that I found is really difficult to describe.
Interesting.
It applies to the letters D, T, and N. It appears to me that the German T, D, and N, not that letters can have nationalities, but you know what I mean, are formed a bit more to the back of the mouth, while in Austrian the tongue touches the front teeth. Let me just give you some examples and see if you can spot the difference I'm talking about. Vorteil, Vorteil, mit, das tut mir leid, das tut mir leid, leid, unter, some minor things that I note.
Is Austrian taking a little bit more time to just finish the words? With a little bit of variation with some of the vowels? Seems like that's the case. Or she's making that obvious, I don't know.
Just for example, that GE is sometimes pronounced as k, gestartet. That EL is shortened to just L, and that this L becomes a HL sound, such as in call, and not like in telephone as Germans would use it. Äpfel, lecker, lecker, leben. And of course there are many slang words and modified words. I instead of ich, san instead of sind, mehr instead of wir, bissel instead of bisschen, instead of ein, a bissel, ein bisschen, nett instead of nicht, dies instead of das. But that also depends. Some Austrians speak something that is really close to German and none of these characteristic modifications apply. Others don't and the Austrian accent is stronger. So please, again, don't blame me if I'm a bit off with what I say, it's just my observations. Also, I know that my imitations of the Austrian accent suck. I am a German, as I said, and this is...
But you're doing a good job. Even me, I'm not a German speaker. I can understand some of the lexicon that is going on here. Because Spanish is a very well-known language in a lot of countries. They have, even people that live close to these regions, they can imitate some of these accents that are different from each region. Which is very interesting, by the way. But I'm assuming that somebody speaking German will go to Austrian, and if that person speaks like a regular German, they will understand each other.
The best I can make out of it. If I make funny faces, this is not to make fun of Austrians, it's just because I'm not used to making these expressions and it may look a bit funny when I try to. But now after all of this, you want to actually hear me speak Austrian, right? Like
No.
not only single words, but full sentences. Alright, I'll try. But don't laugh, okay? Well, laugh, but don't kill me. See if you recognize
Nobody's
some of the
gonna kill you.
aspects I mentioned. Jetzt macht ihr ein Video über Österreicher und Deutsche. Dabei ist das doch ein und dasselbe. Was ist da der Vorteil? Ich mag ja beide. Wir sind doch nicht so unterschiedlich. Und was hat die überhaupt für ein Kleid an? Na, das schaut's nicht gut aus. Also ich hab so einen ekligen Geschmack im Mund. A Zuckerl, wenn die Urlei want. To me, Austrian sounds like a mix of many German dialects and something unique in it that none of them have. The vowels are pronounced differently, the sounds are held shorter or longer, and there are more of the sounds in it. If we assume that the German language is a piano, then I would say that the Austrian language touches a little bit more of the black keys. It's generally softer than German, and personally I like it slightly more. In my opinion, it just sounds a bit friendlier and not so edgy. If you're interested in what
She's saying that Germans tend to be more aggressive. I don't know. I don't know.
I think about the German language and why I dislike certain aspects of it, you should watch this video in which I explain exactly that. I really hope that you had fun with the video. Let me know in the comments how Austrian sounds to you. Please tell me if I said something wrong in your opinion, or let me know if you think that my list is pretty accurate already. Feel free to add stuff, criticize, share your stories, and if you like the video, please give some thumbs up because that would make me happy. If you want to make me even happier and you think that my content is worth it, you can also support me on Patreon. I put the link to my Patreon page right here in the description.
Yeah, but you have to put more videos. I don't know what's going on with her, but she has a very good audience. If she really wants, she can be very successful on YouTube. Hopefully everything goes well. May God protect her. But this was very interesting. I always have that question. A lot of the Switzerland, Austria, and German in some regions of Poland and even France. I would like to know how commonly, culturally, they are similar to each other. Right? That's a question that I always had. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. We'll see you in the next one.